behind the day. And we're in. Mel's lost her shit, so.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to
how could they hear you, Mel, when you're like 8 feet away?
I'm 8 feet tall, Luke.
No, see? Lean into the mic. It's
I
okay.
Can't lean in.
You know, we're going on,
in.
what, 14 episodes in? Something like that. 12, I don't know. I'm still getting her used to the whole recording
lucky
thing.
number 12. It's not lucky.
Color me 12. Hey, we're back. You don't need those headphones on.
I like
That's right.
them on.
All right. Here's what happened.
Protection.
I spent a long time trying to find parking, and then Mel is just sitting here practically getting high on her own laughs, and now she can't focus to do this podcast. Anyway, I'm Luke.
I'm Mal, and this is Behind the Desk.
And we're back at
We're
it.
talking about coffee and broken dreams.
A lot of coffee and broken dreams. We haven't said that in a minute. Hashtag coffee and broken
That's why I
dreams.
said it.
So we're like way into this audition season. It's like basically done.
It's like happening.
Yeah.
It's like
on the
over.
downfall.
It's like offer season. We got a guest in the studio. His name's Bobbert.
His name is Robert Rice.
It's Robbie Rice. He's a dancer that works with us at our mysterious workplace that nobody knows about. And we're gonna I'm gonna have to bleep that out. And we no, I'm not. Not enough people care.
We brought Robbie Rice in.
Yeah, because we're gonna talk to him a little bit about his life, being a dancer, but also like every ensemble's best,
Friend.
Yeah. Also, Robbie, side note, has gotten like 18 offers this season, so he's a wanted man. All right, Mel. So Mel was, well, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about like a horror story or something, right? What's happened recently? I could tell something that happened recently.
I don't even know why I'm on this podcast anymore.
I don't either.
Just talked for like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, you don't say anything, so we're
on.
getting real.
Time to go to the bathroom.
I'll shut up. Mel can talk since she wants to lead it.
No, I don't want to lead it. I want to hear about your story because I'm intrigued now.
All right. Well, I was fortunate enough to get a call back for something recently. And in the room, when I initially auditioned, all I heard was, "You have a callback." And I was like, that's amazing. When do you get called back, like, immediately in the room? That's, like, pretty cool. And it was for, like, days later. That was fine. And then I'm like, I'll get an email. They'll tell me, confirming the time and, like, location and, like, what I'm supposed to do. No. That didn't happen. I'm like, that's fine. It's not for, like, 2 more days. Maybe the next day when they have the open dance call, they'll email everybody with everything that they want to see you for. I don't even know what I'm being called back for. Thursday night. Midnight. Still nothing. Checking audition update. People are freaking out. Checking it Monday or Friday morning. The next day, people are losing their shit. Then there I am. I'm like, well, great. Who could I possibly be? Still no email. Happened to show up because we know where it is because of our work. And then what do? Get handed aside, not for what I thought I was getting called back for. Did I bring instruments for the wrong thing? Yes. Robbie knows. And then, in the room, they asked me to sing stuff with the instrument that I don't have. How am I supposed to do that? What are you doing? Where's your organization?
How did you get through this, Luke?
I don't know.
You're an inspiration to all of us.
I gave him the wrong information.
You did. Actually, Robbie's the one that led me astray.
Don't ask about saxophone if you're not gonna...
That's how I feel. Don't ask me to play the saxophone if you don't want me to blow the horn, okay?
Got it.
Hold the horn. Well, go ahead. Go ahead,
How does
Mel.
this story end, Luke? Because I feel like that's what this long, winding journey has led us to. How does it end?
I booked. Hashtag booked and blessed. It was a nightmarish callback though, because I didn't know what the hell was going on. I don't like to be unprepared. Just when you're gonna have callbacks, tell people what you want them to
If you're
do.
gonna be unprepared, I think you should choose another career. Things come at you really fast.
I feel like what you're unprepared for is leaning into this mic.
Stop telling me.
See, the thing is, Mel, I have a sultry voice that people can hear.
I can whisper too.
Get out of here. All right. Well, great. That's my little tidbit about what happened to me just quite recently, like 2 or 3 days
So the moral
ago.
of that story is constantly bring all your instruments you could ever play.
Yeah, if you're not a one-man band, what are you doing? I mean, if you can't swallow the sword and do a triple sow-cow while playing, Wagner, I don't know what's going on.
Wagner.
Hashtag Wagner.
You around the New York City Opera today?
Yes. Tell us something that happened with you recently, Mel. She's sleeping on my couch because she's homeless.
She broke her hand.
She broke her hand. Unrelated to musical theater.
Nothing really happened to me.
You don't have any fun stories?
Oh, I do.
You didn't have to sing in Yiddish today. That was fun.
I do have a fun story.
Dropped on her head.
This is what happened to me today.
Lean into the mic. Face the mic.
Okay.
Tell the people. They want to hear your voice.
I want to tell them about what happened to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Where are you going? Oh, okay. This is all going downhill. I'm stressed. This is what I went to an audition today, y'all, and I put my hair up for the first time in 6 months. And apparently that was a big deal for people. And Luke thought I spent a lot of time on my hair. I spent approximately like 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, everyone calm
It looked
down.
like a half-hour job.
No, I'm not that fancy. I'm not a fancy pants. No, what I do want to talk about is Jesus Christ Superstar Live.
Oh my
That
God,
was
yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, and I loved everybody. John, he wasn't bad by any means. It's just hard to compete with, like, Brandon freaking Victor Dixon, who, like, just
owned it.
he killed it. Also, not to mention, like, the ensemble killed it, too.
Speaking of John Mulaney is on SNL.
That's not what we're talking about.
14.
But, no, Superstar was great. I thought Sarah Bareilles was phenomenal. Norm was amazing.
I thought it was the best live musical production ever.
Yeah, you know why? Because it was on a normal set and like a normal show. It was as if they were just doing it at a normal theater, as opposed to like
it was
a big
concert reading.
instead of like doing these massive sets running around. Like they just did the show like in a space. Like it was a really cool set because it was pretty simple. There's nothing to it.
I thought it was wonderful and magical and should be the one that people mark off for future live musicals.
Oh no! Now you know what that's gonna happen. Coming back to Broadway.
All right, so call me when you need a Mary Magdalene.
Me too.
Robbie is formerly played Mary Magdalene.
Well, one time I played Jesus, but that was in a different kind of production. I was an infant.
There was some
And
leaders. They
it was,
were in
the
hoods.
pageant play.
They called me Jesus.
The pageant play?
There were chants.
The pageant play.
You know, like the passion play.
Like the page?
Like
But
Passion
at
of the
Christmas?
Christ.
No, like at Christmas. What is that called?
Yeah, Passion of the Christ.
No, not at Christmas. It's not called that.
It's a
It's
Christmas
called like
pageant.
the birth of Jesus. I was Jesus when I was a baby.
The pageant
So
play.
I feel like I'm ready. I should put it on my resume and go play
Hashtag
it.
Jesus baby.
I played Jesus twice.
No.
When I was a young
did.
Jesus.
I was a
I
child.
was a young Jesus.
There you go. That was it. Well, since we got Robbie here, what do we want to talk to him about?
So Robbie Rice,
What?
he's a big fan of Behind the Desk.
He's a dancer. He's a prancer. He's a midnight
He dances and prances
romancer.
and dashes and no, we called Robbie on his show today because we saw him on the street.
That's where I live, so you can find me at all times.
No, we know that we've been ignoring the dancers because we
Because we just
Luke
hashtag
and I aren't
I'm a
dancers.
mover.
Hashtag I'm a mover. So we decided to get some dance expertise up in the show.
Porta bra.
No, you know what also, like, I feel like is nuts about Robbie, too? He goes to 8 billion things, too. But he also knows his type. Tell us about your transition this audition season. Like, what happened?
Well, so I went into the
Come here,
doctor.
come here,
I went
come
to the doctor to get medication.
Yeah, you transitioned, huh?
Can we say that? I don't.
No.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
we're not.
apologize to the world for Lucas.
No, he didn't, like, transition. I just mean, like, you were slower.
No,
You just, you do it.
So I recently finished a contract in California.
What were you doing?
I was doing the Holly Jolly Trolley.
Oh, like a festival Thanksgiving show?
A Christmas show.
Oh,
So,
like the Passion of Christ.
Yeah, the pageant of Christ. So when I got back, before I left, I hated New York. I got back and I just decided to make audition season work for me instead of me work for it. And I was like, well, if I'm not getting seen at equity things because I have 0 EMC points to my name, I was just gonna go in for all non-ec things, and it worked out in my favor. And
Is that what? Yeah, but you always talked about how you were like, I just couldn't figure it out at the beginning, and then I like found my thing.
yeah, the beginning of the season was rough. Like I had just got back. I was staying on a friend's couch for the first 2 weeks before I could move back into my place.
Oh.
So I didn't have like a set place to live. I got the flu. Like all these things were happening, and I was trying to get back into the work routine and save up money because New York is expensive.
Didn't you have the flu while you were crashing on this person's couch?
I got the flu while I was...
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I would hate you so much.
I didn't give it to any of them.
No, I know. I would just be like, oh my god.
I wasn't throwing up.
Yeah, like,
No, it
no,
wasn't
she's staying
even-
on my couch right now.
It
She
wasn't
got
even
the flu.
the good flu. Like, there was no end goal. I wasn't
What?
throwing up.
What kind of flu is a good flu?
When you're snatched at the end of it.
All right. That's not bad. I did lose
don't
10
know what that
pounds when I
means.
was younger.
When you throw up and you're like...
You look good. You look
You're
thin. You're like really
squinty.
pale, but you know, a
hate
little bit of
that.
makeup will fix that up.
Yeah, but then you're like,
hate the word
I feel
snatched being
great.
used as that.
Well, it's not like trap. It's like snatched.
I don't like it.
Like your snatch.
So anyway,
Don't talk about my snatch.
No, but you found your... You found... Shut up. Oh my god. You found your hit.
yeah, I just, like, once I found the songs that really worked for me and what... Honestly, I just got more confident just going into the room, and I really knew what choices worked for me, what...
Did you keep a log?
No.
You didn't keep a log?
No,
Okay, well then how did you come to find those choices? Like, what was the thing? Just because you were getting 8 billion offers out the wazoo?
No, it was just...
So talented.
No, I use the same few songs over and over right now.
Yeah.
And so I know where they sit and I know where they work. And I found a choice that works for me. Apparently Mel wants me to talk about it.
Oh, you're...
She wants me to talk about the log roll. Basically.
Talk about
Why do
how-
you do it?
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Stop. Everyone stop.
You stop.
I
Hammer
want
time.
Robbie to describe for us the typical dance room that he walks into.
The holding room or the actual audition?
The actual dance room. Because you may not have noticed, Luke and I don't dance that much. So
I'm Broadway Bob.
No, you're not.
Get the stomach flu and then we'll talk.
You ain't snatched.
Welcome to Broadway Bears. We've all had the stomach flu.
So basically it's, you go in groups anywhere from, like, generally 20 to up to 40 in a room at a time, and it's small and it's crammed, and you get kicked a lot because apparently, even though we're dancers, we don't understand what spatial awareness is.
Like personal bubble?
Yeah, like, or when you're gonna bot mod for your face, there are people around you, so maybe you should save that when it's smaller groups. But
shouldn't they also just choose smaller groups? It's not their fault.
yeah, but they don't have enough
Hey,
time
what
to
are you,
throw
a
them in.
freaking choreographer? Be quiet.
I've choreographed a few things.
You have not. You choreographed like walking out of this apartment. That's it.
Snatched.
And I've been in groups as small as 7 people.
And still been kicked in the face?
No, that was actually nice. It was for my callback last week for a specific thing, and
All the tours.
and it was nice to actually have room and be able to ask questions, because I've been in rooms where some choreographers get really grumpy and angry when you ask a question and
So
sassy.
in the dance room,
Get closer.
in the dance room, is it important to ask a question if you don't understand, or just try to like go with the flow? What do you think?
I've learned to start asking other people around me, because I asked one question and someone like snapped back at me, and I was very uncomfortable because I just asked a genuine question of like, hey, can we review this one section, because we were reviewing the other section, and I just wanted to put the pieces together, and they were not happy with that. And then when I danced the routine, my friends were like, they stared at you the whole time, and then you didn't get kept. So I've just kind of stopped asking questions in rooms.
So when
Wow.
you, as a dancer, you're in the dance room, how many times do you do the combination? before you like leave? Yay or nay?
Yeah,
just do that.
It depends. Some dance calls I've been in, and it's like you get 15-20 minutes to learn the combo. You'll do it in smaller groups, maybe like once or twice, and they're like, okay, let's break down to small groups of 3 or 4, and that's when you're doing it. Sometimes you get to do it twice, sometimes you do it once. If you are equity, you generally get to do it twice, but who's equity?
Okay, so if you're shut up. If you're in a dance room and then you dance for them and then you're asked to stay and you have to sing with like a 20-minute turnaround. They give you sides or whatever. Has that happened to you?
Yeah, so usually it's always just like, because it's been a long day, they're like, sing something from your book in this style real quick, which for the most part for me this season has been pop rock, or it's just been sing your best, and I have a song that really works for me because it shows off my range.
So do you change your outfit, or do you go in with the same dance outfit on?
Yeah, that's something I'm curious about.
Oh,
too,
when I
actually.
sing, if it's that day, I just walk it in the same thing. Because
Yeah, I support that, because otherwise, honestly, the people who get dressed up, you look like more of a hot mess than everybody else. Also, you just did the damn
there's no
thing.
point because they know. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like they're like, oh, we forgot you came in, you sweat and you danced, and no, we just danced for you. You know what I did dance-wise, so I'm going to walk in the same outfit. So you go, that's the same person that I watched, like, do a log roll or, like, follow.
It also, like, weirdly to me seems like you're, like, trying too hard. Like, because I see that, and it'll only ever be, like, one person in the whole thing. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just,
I have another question as a mover. And this question is, we were talking earlier, just chatting, and you said that there's always a portion of the dance where you need to show your personality or, like, show your sparkle or shine or do, like, your one trick.
Hashtag show your sparkle.
Do you constantly do the same trick? Do you try to do it in the style of the show, or do you just do something that will constantly make you stand out to that specific casting team?
It depends on the call. So usually if it's, like for regional theaters, because that's the only time they're going to see me, I usually use the same types of tricks, which I'll do something that's like a big showy trick and then something that fits my personality, which I'm a weirdo. So I will do something weird. And that usually gets me noticed more than the like big crazy, like, oh, he did a flip. Oh, he did that. Usually, like if I log roll on the ground, they laugh, they remember it, and they comment on it. If it's, like this one thing I went in for last week, when we did the combo twice, I like to think that each time should be a new choice, because you shouldn't show them the same choice twice. They're like, oh, that's not surprising. So I'll do one that's like this big trick, and then we had a whip in our hand was like the
Hot.
story of it. And so I did a one-handed and then whipped my leg for the first one. And then the second time at the end, I did like a fish roll to slide up onto my knees. And
so as you would say you're primarily a dancer, right? That's
no.
how you no. What are you primarily?
If I would consider myself an actor first.
So how did you get the confidence to walk into dance rooms with primary dancers?
Well, it's funny, actually, because I didn't start dancing. Well, I didn't start any of my training until I got to college, because I'm from a village of 59 people total in the middle of...
A village.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's anything under 1,000 people is classified as a village. Google.
Google.
And I actually, my freshman year of school, like the few dance classes that I took, I was embarrassed. I was terrible. I used to walk out of the classes. My teachers and I would actually get into arguments. And I had one professor that literally sat me down. She said, I'm not going to let you quit. I see too much potential in you. You can do this if you keep your mind like set on the end goal. And thanks to her and another teacher, I found the love for dancing and used that to drive me to want to be better at it. And I knew my type, and I knew that if I didn't know how to dance, I was screwed until I was 35. Because I look like a chorus boy. And I, like, that sits in a few different shows as, like, more predominant, like Book of Mormon or West Side Story, but I just look like a generic chorus boy, and if I don't know how to dance, I'm not going to book work until I look older. And with the extra time and training that I took for dance specifically that really helped me. And then going to calls and just being like, you know what, I'm not going to be afraid of this. I'm just going to go in and do it. The more you do, the better you'll get. Because picking up choreography, I will be honest, is probably everybody's like lowest level of trait. Like for me, I know if I don't go to auditions for a few months, then all of a sudden I get back in a room and picking up choreography really fast.
Yeah.
Is difficult.
So, do you think it's really important to continue with like a rigorous dance schedule, like at BDC or steps,
if you
or
can
do you think
afford
like,
it, good lord.
if you think like audition rooms are your dance classes?
For me, because I can't afford BDC and I can't afford steps, auditions are my dance classes. So even if I'll go to both a singer's call and a dancer's call. I feel completely comfortable at both. And the dance call, even if I get cut, I'm like, that was a free dance class. Just go is all I can say. Like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, they're not gonna remember you if you mess up and just leave. Like, they're gonna go, okay, well, now we're focused on the people that we did want to bring back.
Yeah.
And it's not like, there's nothing to lose at an open dance call.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not dead set on that show, and, like, say you wanted to go in for Elf, which is one of the tours that's been casting lately, I would recommend you go in for the singer's call. And then if they ask you to dance, go dance. But if you're not a comfortable, like, dancer, I wouldn't recommend going in for the dance call as well. But,
right. Well, that's why I'm intrigued by it, because like I didn't start dancing till later either. But I guess it's knowing your type, because I'm not someone you can just stick in an ensemble and no one will notice.
Hashtag I'm a mover. Yeah.
No, but you're gonna notice me too. Just the way, like, I'm 6 feet tall. You're gonna notice like a tall woman in the back.
Well, the thing,
6 feet tall, sing like a wardrobe from Beauty and the Beast.
I also recommend though, like, if you
That email.
if you have a friend that you know is a comfortable dancer, choreographer, or like will teach you combos, just ask them for help.
Then what have we been doing, Robbie?
What do you mean?
All these months.
Listen, I offer to help people all the time.
You have never offered to help me.
Take me up. Like,
Take me up?
Yeah.
What is
take
that?
me up on my offer.
Oh. I was like, hashtag take me up.
Take me away from here. No, I give privates. I taught dance while I was in college as well, as a side gig. And it's good to be in that environment because there is no fear of failure.
Yeah.
When you're with friends, you're comfortable and you can work at a faster pace because you're not so stressed. Mm-hmm. Like if you are in an audition setting, there was one callback that I was in the other week, and I was so close, and I was stressing myself out because I knew if I could just get this one thing that I would book it. Mm-hmm. But I put too much stress on myself, and it just wasn't happening. And I spent an hour specifically with the choreographer. Just me and her going back and forth. And it just wasn't sitting in. And then the next day I like took myself into the room and was like, I'm just going to do it just for my own sake. And it worked fine. But when you put yourself in those high pressure situations like dances for a lot of people, for me, I still get stressed.
Yeah.
And so you need to take yourself away from that element, practice in a comfortable setting, and then from there you can earn the confidence to go in.
So after this audition season where you found your niche and where you're comfortable, you mentioned building your book, and you do 3 to 5 like solid things in your book. Mm-hmm. Did you build that book with like your type as a chorus ensemble dancer in mind?
No, honestly, a lot of it. So I have my big go-to is just like something that shows off my voice. Mm-hmm. It starts on a C5 and it like wails through the whole song. Mm-hmm. And it's an 8-bar cut actually. So it's like bam, there's that, and then usually people ask for something else. And then I have, like, my Boyish Charm song for specific shows. But a lot of my book, because a lot of the things I've been going in for is just pop rock.
Well, yeah, you've clearly found, like, your hit, what you're good for, and
Yeah.
what to at least get them hooked in to
Yeah.
want more.
You have to-
which that's more important than I think some other people try and make choices that are like, well, this is a really good song, and, you know, I sound good on it in this part. It's like, no, get them hooked right away, because
No.
you don't have time for that
Because
shit.
honestly, that 8-bar isn't an acting song.
Yeah.
Like, it's not whatsoever, but it's like, I can sing. If you want to hear more, you
Yeah,
do.
and if you wanna
or
see
if
me
you
act,
don't,
yeah.
if you don't want more, like, it's not terrible acting. It's just, it's one note.
Right, they're going to see more when they call you
Yeah.
back. Yeah,
And
yeah.
And then I haven't wasted time working on something specifically for that audition. If that song fits that audition. And a lot of things nowadays are people just asking you to come in and sing your best thing.
Yeah. So, have a book of, like, something to hook in quick.
Yeah.
At least from that dancer-ish, non-ec perspective. Go to auditions that you think that, hey, this may be a free class, honestly, even if you don't think you're going to get it. When you can't afford to go to BDC and steps, and that's, like, a large majority of people. What else did... I'm just trying to recap here, because we got to wrap it up.
But also know what dance calls are definitely going to be way above your head.
Yeah.
Like, if you aren't a dancer, don't go in for Cats. Don't go in for Hello Dolly. Don't go...
Oh, yeah. Don't waste their time either.
Specific shows don't... Mm-hmm. Because it's only going to do more damage to you because you're going to get so frustrated.
Right. Yeah. Is anything anything else in particular? I think it was good.
I think that's wonderful.
That was a lot of insight.
I talked a lot, I'm sorry.
No, you did everything that you were supposed to do. You're fabulous.
Booked it.
Booked it.
Booked
You
it.
booked behind the desk. Oh my god.
This is the 19th.
Woo!
I'm sorry, but I have a few other offers on the table. I'm going to have to think this over seriously.
Okay, well, don't look for your check in the mail.
You haven't sent me a contract first. So.
No, you're fabulous. You're great. Thank you so much, Robbie. You provide so much insight that we don't get. And yeah, follow us on all the social medias. Also, by the way, if you're listening and you haven't rated us on the iTunes or whatever the things is, do that for us and leave a review if you can, because that is how other people discover us on their, like, recommended stuff. And that's, like, growing and stuff, and that's awesome. What? Oh, sure you can. Yeah, you can plug your social media, Robbie. Do it. Robbie wants to plug his social media.
Well, I mean, it's mostly just awkward pictures of me doing awkward things.
No, you do it. What is it, Robbie?
Well, my Instagram is the whitest of rices. So that is the whitest of rices. RICES.
Rice the grain.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't forget that. Great. Anyway, lukewarmmelon@gmail.com and all the handles and Instagrams and Facebooks and all that jazz. We're wrapping it up. We will see you next week. Behind